Let's also bring on board Avinash Gorakssakar, Head of Research at MindDirect.com. Avinash, hi, afternoon. Firstly, a word on the oil and gas pack and whether or not it still makes sense to buy into names like an ONGC or, for that matter, Reliance Industries.
I think, Aisha, Reliance definitely looks pretty attractive. I think clearly, a gas price increase would actually mean that earnings for Reliance would get a major booster. And I think now with the CCA actually giving a approval, I think it remains to be seen how, the other ministries react to this. But clearly, I think one thing is sure that come FY 14-15, Reliance is definitely going to benefit once the gas price hike actually gets implemented. My bias would be more on Reliance rather than ONGC. ONGC also would benefit as an upstream kind of player, but Reliance would definitely benefit more. So clearly, even at the current levels, if somebody has a reasonable medium-term horizon, I think one could definitely nimble into Reliance.
Avinash, what have you made of the auto sales numbers that we've got so far? Maruti is disappointed, M&M is also disappointed. You get a feeling that the slowdown is very much here to stay?
I think it would stay at least for another, say, couple of months. I think looking at Maruti's numbers, I think clearly disappointing, a 12% drop. More importantly, I think, I think with the rupee having depreciated to levels around 59 and 59.50 now slightly appreciated. My guess is, I think, hopes for the auto sector in terms of a rate cut seem to have actually dwindled down. So I think clearly, if the rate cut does not happen in the coming policy, we could see demand, at least in the domestic market remaining weak for at least a couple of months. So I think in that sense, I think clearly maybe a Tata Motors, which has got a large export exposure, especially to China and the UK. I think there possibly some kind of, better traction could be seen. Hopefully if the global, numbers improve. But clearly for the next couple of months, I think these numbers are not going to change, and the market would definitely, will wait clearly for a rate cut kind of signal. Only then, these stocks could possibly rally.
Avinash, what's your own sense on what this acquisition may actually bring on board for Hero MotoCorp, and does the stock now become a buy?
I think this acquisition, Ayesha, is definitely a good sign, looking at the fact that post the split with Honda, I think the company is making good amount of efforts to ensure that product launches are now going to be the key driver for volume growth. I think in the past, this has been a sore point with most of the analysts and investors that product development had taken a complete backseat and company was actually generating volumes from the older models. I think whatever tie-up has happened, I think is a good sign, but to see some material benefits from this deal happen, I think will take at least 6 to 8 months. I think it won't be an immediate kind of takeoff. Diwali launch is good. I think my sense is the market should obviously looking forward to some radically new kind of designs, because the kind of competition coming in from Bajaj and TVS, my sense is I think it's clearly a strategy from the management to protect market share and grow in a market which is extremely competitive. So in net it's a good positive sign, but longer term results should come in.
Avinash, a quick word on the bank license aspirants. Today is of course the deadline for submitting an application for bank licenses, but I guess the market has already got a fair idea which are the companies that are in the fray. What's your sense? What are the strong contenders from your point of view?
Sandeep, my guess is Reliance Capital looks to be ideally a very strong contender. I think they are present in almost every financial service activity except, a bank. And the kind of signals the Reliance Capital management has given, I think clearly indicates that possibly in the private sector space, Reliance Capital could be a kind of a dark horse, clearly which should be able to get the license. And in that sense, possibly one could see a good re-rating in the stock. Clearly I think this seems to be the near-term bet. I think there are some other companies also, but my, bias would be on Reliance Capital.
Avinash, good having you on the show. Appreciate you taking the time out and joining in.